You've had a dry spell for a year and a half.
It's not that I'm not abstinent. I'm not having sex, nothing like that. It's just not something that is really after like 3, 4 months of not thinking about it, it's something that's kind of just like don't care anymore.
So
'Cause
you think
what's changed?
You no, you know how, do you feel like you're more productive now that you're not having sex?
Yes, so much more productive.
Yeah. But you don't entertain women at all, huh?
No, I don't entertain women at all. And here, like, because that's the thing with it would be different if sex was like DoorDash, where you order it, it comes to your door, you have the sex, and they leave. But to get somebody to have sex with you, usually there's so many steps ahead of that.
Sex is
Like
like
so time consuming, and it's like takes so much time and like effort and back and forth. And you're like, dude, do I even really like this person? Like, this is not worth it, dude. It's just not worth it.
sex is not like DoorDash. Sex is like going to McDonald's and like making an order and like getting all the order and like having to pick up the food. But the cashier is like very like emotionally attached to you for some reason, and you have to like seduce her to get the order. You know, like you have to like really talk her into giving you that Big Mac. like no, like I'm saying that like sex, like to have like you're saying like you haven't had sex in a year and a half because you don't want to pursue like trying to get a woman and like dealing with like having to get her and do the work. So I'm saying like that's like sex. You're like I want it to be like DoorDash, but I'm saying it's more like going to the restaurant and trying to order, but you can't get the food that you're trying to order because first you have to like make this cashier like you. Like you have to like seduce the cashier into giving you what you want to eat. You know, you got to be like, give me a Big Mac. But she's like, oh, but what about us? And you're like, fuck, like I just want the Big Mac.
Like my relationship with women was always like, and I think it was because I didn't have much going on myself. And I like had just stopped drinking. I didn't have anything. So when I would date somebody, I would kind of like latch onto them and be like, okay, your life is my life now. And I'm putting all my time into this relationship because because I don't have anything. This is all I have. And then
You're that guy. Oh my God, that's horrible.
bad guy.
No, you're that guy. That's
I was that guy. I was
that's
that
terrible,
guy.
bro.
I was that guy. And yeah, it was terrible. And so then I would go through these relationships and like, you know, they'd fall apart after 6 months, and then I'd look at my life and be in the exact same spot I was 6 months ago before this started. And instead of like doing the stuff I was supposed to be doing, I'd be like, oh, let me find another relationship to like distract myself from this. And so now I just, now that I have my routine in my life and like all the stuff that I do now, all the stuff that I never had before, it's like, oh, this is cool. And I don't want anybody coming in and messing with what I have going. Now I have something that's cool that I like, and like you're going to come in and just, don't mess that up. Don't mess up my...
It's kind of like you have like a pile of shit like on your desk, and like this is your pile of shit, and you don't want some girl to come here and like rearrange all your shit, you know? Like she walks in, she's like, oh, look at this. This is our shit now. And you're like, no, this is my shit.
Yes.
You don't want her to like pile it up.
Yeah, I don't want you getting in the way of like what I got going on now. And like, because I think in like 5 years, I'll be in like a good place to be like...
5 years you're giving yourself?
5, yeah, probably 5 years of being in a good place. Like, I'll be in a good place with what I'm doing for my job. I'll be in a good place with comedy, like more established in both of those things, and then have a little bit more time to like dedicate to other stuff.
Okay.
Like right now, I just don't want to.
You feel like this is all maybe an excuse for why you haven't had sex in a year and a half?
Yeah, probably.
You have all the justifications, like you've planned this out,
I got
bro.
justifications.
Like
yeah,
you're in your room, like why is there like it's Friday night and you're just fucking laying down, like I have a busy day tomorrow and I had a busy day today and I can't have sex with a woman who's gonna rearrange all my stuff.
Like usually the people that I end up dating are people that were friends. I like dating friends.
Okay.
Because they know me already. So they know how I am. They know like my quirks, and if I'm, you know, there's some strange things, and they're used to it because they're my friends and they know it. If I like just meet somebody like off the bat and it's like under the presumption like, oh, we're gonna date.
Okay.
I can totally put on like this, like, oh, I'm this cool guy. I work at this cool ad agency. Like I'm this like big, like just a typical cool dude. But like, and like I'm smart and I'm a charismatic and I can like turn it on. But then like if it goes down to like we're hanging out every day, that guy is gone.
Okay,
So
so,
I
so
can't-
you don't want to play the facade.
I can't
But
do. I can't
so you're not
do
even.
that at
So you're
all.
not being yourself. You're just saying you're not being. You
Well,
don't.
you-
You don't like
I
to
used-
go.
I
You know
used
what
to
I do,
not.
bro? I go on the date and You know what I do? I like to challenge the woman. Seriously, I like to play
Oh, I'm
myself
sure she
worse
loves
than I
that.
am.
I'm sure she loves that. My God, what a nightmare.
No, bro, it's phenomenal because look, I play worse than I am, and I give them all the negatives first. I do this in sales, bro. I don't go to the solar like I don't go to the consultation trying to sell them solar. I try to go to the consultation providing every reason why not to go solar and telling them why they shouldn't go solar. And then because if I try to convince them to go solar, it creates sales resistance, and they don't want to feel pressured into something. So when I go out with a girl, I'm like, look, dude, I live in a van. All right, my penis is it's well sized. I don't bring up my penis. I'm like, I live in a van. I take showers at the gym. I'm like, look, this is what you're gonna deal with me. All right, so you better make the decision right now, or else this is not gonna happen. Because I don't want to be somebody else. Like I don't want to deal with like trying to hold this thing up. Because I know that once she finds my Instagram, she's gonna find out all this shit about me anyway, and she's gonna be like, dude, this kid is retarded.
She's already seen your Instagram, probably.
You know what, dude? Sometimes, I met a girl and we had a conversation for like 2 hours, and then she found my Instagram, never texted me again after that. And I was like, perfect, because that's who I am. So if you don't fuck with that,
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
You know what I learned in sales? I learned yes is great. Sorry. Yes is money. No is time. Maybe is a waste of time. So if she says no, fire. Because now I know not to deal with you and waste my time. Because I'm, and this is so arrogant, but I learned to be the catch. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, you're not the catch. Like you could be as hot as you are, but let's fucking dissect that shit, dude. Really, look at the most attractive women. You know how much work is going into that? Like how much work in the morning, in the night, in the day, just trying to keep this facade. They are the biggest liars. The hottest women are the biggest liars because they're fucking eating shit inside, bro. They're going through so much like inner turmoil inside that like they need to keep up this doll look. Dude, that's why when I'm scrolling through Instagram,
You were making you're applying a
I'm just
specific
being honest.
instance to a wide group of women there.
Yes, I am. Because think of it like this, dude.
They won't have sex with you in your van?
No, they do want to have sex with me in my van. But you want to hear the crazy thing about me? You haven't had, guess how long? Guess when was the last time I had sex?
I would say Labor Day weekend.
Okay, so you were like, so you know how I asked you, I was like, hey, dude, is this all just an excuse for you not fucking for a year and a half? Dude, double that shit.
Labor Day weekend 2 years ago? 3 years?
3 fucking years, bro. And I feel amazing, dog, because now I've lost that dog hound, like, pussy, like,
Yeah,
shit.
dude. That'll destroy you, man. It'll suck time. So much time.
Fuck yeah.
You don't realize how much time until it goes away, but like how much time you spend on, Instagram scrolling through bitches' stories or like going on like dating apps and just being like, oh, I'm gonna talk to these people, like keeping up like texting conversations and stuff and keeping people around that like you don't need around anymore. Nice.
This is such a nice jacket.
You can't even know. It's so many designs on it. You can't even tell.
There's so many. That's such a funny.
It's like the wallpaper in my grandma's bathroom. It looks like it's nuts.
Dude, if I went to a laundromat and they told me, oh, yeah, you don't need to clean it. There's so many designs.
Yeah,
You can't even see the stain.
There's so many designs. Don't even worry about it, man.
I'd be so pissed if my fucking stupid laundromat said that to me. But
What
sorry, you were saying about like the 3 years shit. Like you were giving your opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's I'm not trying to turn this into some like male excellence podcast, but like you gotta like have something. You gotta build something that's worth somebody coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of guys, especially if you're in your 20s, like you haven't done that because you're just too young.
What, like sex?
No, like build like you don't have anything really of value to offer. And I'm like a little bit jaded because I'm not a romantic person at all. So when
You know, I
somebody's
think
like,
okay.
some people are like, oh, well, you love each other. Like, to me, that's nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
So you're looking more into rational value,
more like,
not
are
like
there more
emotional value.
reasons for you guys to be in a relationship together
Okay.
than there are not? And like, I grew up in a very religious place. I got married young. All my sisters are younger than me.
Oh, yeah,
They're
you're
all
a
married.
Mormon. Can I ask when you were married?
From like 23 to 27 ish. And then, but it's just like, what was I saying?
You're saying that you don't want to marry like for the emotional
Yeah,
value.
yeah. Because
So it sounds like you're looking less for a girlfriend or a wife and more for like a business partner.
that's exactly right. And that's how I view it. And a lot of people don't view it that way. They find it, because a lot of people like romance. They like that kind of side of life. That's just something that I don't really get, and I don't like it. And not only do I don't like it, I hate it.
Wow.
Like the thought of like holding hands with somebody I love makes me want to like rip my face off. So like,
why?
I don't know what it is about it, but like and that's always been a problem in my relationships, and that's not like something, if you like that kind of stuff, that's not, I'm in the minority with this, so if there's a woman who like, maybe I really like them, like here's how I operate now. If there's a woman that I really like, I can tell she's somebody who likes, like that kind of romantic connection between people and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna, I won't be able to do anything for you.
Dude, maybe, but this kind of just sounds like you're not even looking for like love. You're like, I'm looking for a woman who could do the fucking dishes while I pay the bills, and the way you dress too, bro. Like, you're
but there has to be a reason. Also, my dad's not a super romantic dude, so maybe it came from that too. My parents, they work together. And like the relationships I look at that are the ones that I'm like, oh, I'd want something like this. They're usually working together on like, well, one, you can work on building the family together, but they also have like some sort of
structure,
business
like,
thing where
yeah.
That's why I do like the idea of dating somebody who's also like doing comedy and stuff like that. And not now, but in the future, because then it's like, oh, because for me, like, I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do anymore. I hate, so it's like, what I like to do now is I like to make movies. I like to create projects like that.
Hell
I like
yeah.
to do comedy. So I want to find somebody who, when it's like, what do you want to do tonight? It's like, let's go do spots. Let's go work on something
Yeah.
we want to do together. Dude, if somebody was like, the thought of being like, oh, let's go to Paris for like 6 weeks, dude, I'd
Hate that.
I'm out, dude.
I hate leaving, dude. So
I'm out. We're not going to Paris. We're not going to Paris. No one is going to Paris.
fuck Paris. You said like you don't want to do the things you don't want to do anymore, and I can relate to that. I'm very young to relate to that because very young I made that decision. Like, I'm assuming that by saying that you're saying like you don't want to like work this job that you don't want to do anymore. You don't want to date these women just because like they're doing this. You don't want to go on these trips just because she or he is like, yo, let's go on this trip to like the lake because fuck it. I hella agree with that. Like, I hate, and out of no disrespect to my parents, I hate going to visit my parents because that's time away from what I want to be doing, which is I want to be doing comedy. I want to edit. I want to be editing videos, recording podcasts, recording YouTube, doing crazy shit. Like, I realized that the reason that's been driving me towards doing the things I don't want to do is usually rooted from like the desire for money or like the validation of others or like what others interpret success to be. So I have to like fit into that norm and like for example, like, okay, I know I should be going to college. Okay, I know I should be going to college.
Did you go to college?
Nope. So
You went straight from high school to doing this?
Mm-hmm. And it was like I know I should be doing that, but then one day I said fuck all. It was not one day when my sister died. I said fuck all the.
When is that?
She died in 2021.
Damn.
Yeah.
Soon. Was she older or younger?
Older.
What happened?
She killed herself.
Really?
I thought you knew this, bro.
I did not know that. I'm sorry,
I
dude.
make jokes about this on stage, but yeah, she committed suicide. And
How old was she?
20.
And she was older than you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
This is not adding. You're not 19.
I am.
No, you're not.
Uh-huh.
You've told me before you're like 24.
I know.
You lied?
I finally like I made the decision 2 days ago to like just be me and like be whatever about it.
You're
only-
not fucking with me right now. You're 19 years old.
I'm 19 years old.
You're serious.
When I was,
If I find out you're lying to me,
dude, you want to see my ID?
I want to see your ID. I want to see your ID.
And by the way, I didn't tell you I was 20 at 4.
I don't know what you said.
I told you I was 22.
Okay, well, I don't remember exactly. Why do you...
I'll tell you why I lied. And by the way, you're the only one who knows this now.
What, knows that you're 19? You're telling everyone else you're 21? Well, now everyone's going to know.
I'll tell you right now the truth. And why I'm telling the truth and not lying anymore.
It's going to be very stressful to be lying about your age for your entire life. That's
No,
not
dude.
possible.
It's not stressful. It's really fun. I've been playing this game, like this really fun game since I was like 16, where I would like just play this like character. Not being fake or anything, but like I have the confidence to do it, so I just do it. But it's like I can get in and get wherever I want, like whenever I want.
You're a
You know
con
what I
man.
mean? Huh?
Not in a bad way, but that's...
Yeah, like
what it is.
I see it as like a finesser. You know what I mean? So when I moved here, this is when the 22 thing started.
So that's why you don't drink.
No, I don't like drinking anyway. Like
Yeah.
I used to drink a lot in high school and smoke a lot in high school, and I just lost interest. But here, let me show you my thing.
Yeah,
so
I
you
still want to see this.
can- Okay, so when I moved to LA, I got a fake ID, which is this one. And then here's my real
Date of
one.
birth. So this would make you
22.
22 years old,
And
right?
here's my real one.
Damn! It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. So pretty much, the reason why I've been lying is because like when this lie first started when I was 16, and I was at the club in Mexico, and I met this girl who was 19.
Mexico?
Mexico, like Cabos, and I met this girl. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is not Mexico? Like, what do you mean Mexico?
I thought
Mexico?
maybe you meant like New Mexico or some shit.
Who the fuck refers
You
to
say you
Mexico?
I don't know. You don't like traveling. I don't like traveling. Maybe that's as Mexican as
No,
you're gonna get.
yeah. So I was with my family. I was 16, and I met this really cute girl, which I really liked, and she was 19, and she didn't want to go out with me knowing I was 16. So I played this role.
So it's rape, isn't it? Not in Mexico.
No, I think it was like pedophilia. Or
yeah, so
on
a
her-
legitimate reason why.
Yeah. So I had to lie, and I told her I was 18. And then since then, I always played, or I told her I was 19, and since then I always played 3 years older than I am. My sister would be 22 right now, so I pretty much took her age. And when I moved, let me tell you why the lie started. When I moved here, I understood that I would not be able to perform as much or get into as many clubs if I was 19, because a lot of these clubs, and you might not notice this because you're old enough to not have to deal with it, but a lot of these clubs don't allow people who are 21 or like under 21.
To
So-
even perform.
I didn't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
So I knew that if I didn't want to take that risk, I got a fake ID. I paid $80 for it before I moved here. Scannable, everything.
Has anyone ever given you a problem with it at
Nope.
shows or anything like that?
Nope.
Like
The
you don't,
only
they don't
per-
even
the only-
ask, probably.
The only place that asks is the Comedy Store, and then like there's another one. But
Even if you're performing, they ask.
so knowing that, I was like, okay, look, I need to
Yeah.
get into these clubs. So I can't just tell people that I'm 22 and then other people that I'm 19. If,
Yeah.
if this is the age on my ID, I need to live up to this shit and be this way, like permanently.
Yeah.
So everyone I work with, everyone.
Oh yeah, you work with. What do you do with that? Do they know you're not? They have to know. You
They don't even. They don't even ask. And if they ask, I tell them I'm 19.
Solar's so sketchy. They don't even care. They don't even care.
My boss just found out I'm 19. Like after like 6 months, dude. And I don't even. And people. And when I knock on doors, I'm like 25. You know, it just varies what I feel like. But yeah. So I play the age that I need to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I have that fake ID. But and because like here's the thing.
Well, that's also a totally valid reason to be saying you're 22 if you're
Yeah.
19 and you need to get into 21 and older.
Yeah,
places.
and I didn't want to risk it and be inconsistent and tell some people I'm 19 and tell some people that I'm
Yeah.
not. So that's why I lied. But I never saw it as lying. I always just saw it as like this is what I need to do
Yeah.
to like succeed in LA. and also with the women, dude. Like I was like, because I like to go for like older women. Like most of the women that I go out with are like 24, 25. So knowing that I'm 22 is younger, and they like older guys usually, but like they'll like settle for that. But if I'm 19, bro, then this is different. But then I came to this epiphany of like, you know what? I'm gonna tell everybody everything about me, and if they don't even fuck with my age, then fuck them.
So the last time you had sex was 3 years ago. So you had sex with a 16-year-old. This is the last person you had sex with. Is that right?
Dude, she was a year younger than me, bro. Last time I had sex was with a 15-year-old girl, bro.
Oh my God.
I think so, bro. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I might have been 16. Yeah.
Dude, that's gnarly.
That's
Yeah,
gnarly.
dude. Yeah, well, it's different because you're not even in your 20s yet. So much shit happens in your. I'm thinking like when I was 19,
Yeah.
and like now, like oh my God, you have so much shit you're gonna be going through you haven't gone through yet.
What do you mean? Like, what do you?
Well, maybe it's different. I mean, because you've had like sounds like a different experience than like. It sounds like you've had to grow up a little bit faster probably than most people.
Yeah.
So, what's interesting is like when I first met you, I think I thought you were like 26, 27. You know, I was surprised that when you said you were 22, that I was like, oh, that's way younger than I thought.
And now you're like,
So, it's so young. What? I can remember when we were talking one time and I was like, asked how old you were. I'm like, dude, you got to get out of this van and get into a place.
yeah, you did say that.
And then you're like, I'm only 22 years old, which was a lie. But I was like, oh, you're 22. Like, that's fine. Like you're 22. Do whatever you want. Get drunk, hit a cop with a baseball bat. Doesn't matter. You'll like recover. You
Right.
You can really destroy your life in your 20s and come back from it and be totally fine.
Yeah, that's
You
some
can do-
Gary V shit you just said.
No, you can do whatever you want.
You can do anything you want. 20, you can fuck it up. You can fuck everything up.
You can fuck it up. You can get drunk, run over a kid in this van, and then by the time you're 28, you'll be back.
Yeah.
You can do, because I wasted my 20. Like, I don't want to say they were a complete waste of time, but I just spent it drinking and, like, being delusional and thinking that, like, all my bands are going to make it when really I was just getting drunk all day and, like, being crazy in my head, being like, oh, this is it. We're going to make it. And, like, really, like,
Right.
you zoomed out, like, oh, you're just getting drunk in a bar and, like, playing shows once every other week, maybe.
But it's good to focus on the fantasy too. But you got to put active action.
Yeah.
And you weren't doing that?
No, I was too drunk to do any of that. Seriously. And now, but I was always a hard worker, and I was still able to. So now that I like have my mind back, it's a lot easier to, because this is a very difficult thing to navigate. And one thing that makes being in a band or doing comedy hard to navigate is it's hard to look at somebody else, because there's a lot of things like for a lot of careers, you can look at somebody else and follow their path, and you'll end up where they are. But comedy and art is so specific to that person. You can't really like, oh, this worked for this guy. Let me do what he did. It's going to get you, and it's so you can't really take other people's advice because everyone's path is so unique that it's difficult to be like, this worked for this guy. I'm going to do it. This person did, and then you're completely lost because it didn't work out. But if you go and you're doing like finance job, you want to be a hedge fund manager, you follow the guy ahead of you, just keep doing what he's doing, it'll work. Because that process is more like
Right,
proven
okay.
and like structured.
But everybody wants to fucking do that.
Yeah, you want to be a doctor, you want to do something like that.
No,
You
no,
wanna
no. Like what you're saying is just like everybody wants that guarantee. They want to see what they're gonna become.
there's a lot of comfort in doing that.
That's the problem. Is that everybody's chasing comfort, bro. Everyone's
That's
just
not a bad. You get older, you realize that's not a bad thing. You'll see a lot of people who don't chase comfort, and they're delusional, and then you see them. They're 42 years old. They have 8 roommates. It's a fucking
okay. Well, that's a problem.
And
all right?
that is 95% of people.
No, you know what 95% of people are? 95% of people are the people who you just described, who are people who are like, oh yeah, this is my manager's position. If I do this, then I can get to this role, and then I can get to this role, and then I can get to that position. It's because everybody is kind of like put into this fucking like box, and then they're like presented with this path, and they're like, look, if you do everything we say, if you go to college, and if you go to school, and if you pay attention, you get a job, and you work hard enough and you retire, then you can get this home and you can do that. And then you're like, bro, but you're fucking 65. You're fucking 70 with all this shit. You know what you're doing at 70? You're barely breathing, dog. You're trying to like you're not living anymore. You can't do it. I want you to tell me, hey, guy, look, you can work your ass off like super hard. Like you can grind. And if you grind hard enough and if you do all the right things, then you can have all that shit that this 80-year-old has right now at 25. I'm not in this van for fun, dude. I'm not in this van for fun. I'm in this van because I'm not gonna look at this fucking pathway that everyone else is so flattered by. You know what we do, bro? You go to elementary school to go to middle school. You go to middle school to go to high school. You go to high school to go to college. You go to college to get a job. You get a job to retire. You get to retire to fucking die. All right?
So
To die happily.
So that's where a lot of people fall apart is after they graduate. A lot of people who graduate college and
They're like, huh?
they spend their whole life in that system. Like, oh, this is like, if I follow this path, it's going to get me to this certain place. Then you graduate college and you realize maybe you're working a job that you don't really like. And you're like, oh, like this isn't, now it's like, nothing is guaranteed. There's nothing that I know what to follow. Before it's always like, you can follow this, and here's the next step.
Yeah.
Once you graduate college, there's so many options that it overwhelms a lot of people, and that's where that's where you see people either, like I did basically, is have like a mental break from it and be like, no, I have to go the complete opposite route. I need to, that, or you see people really dive into like a career choice. And those, by the way, that's not a bad option. Like I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, if you're working a job and you're working on your career, you're going to be unhappy. I know a lot more people who do that are happy than I know that delusional people who just try and do something.
So what do you mean by delusional?
Delusional people is like people who think things are going to work out and they don't know how.
So like naive people kind of.
Well, like they don't, like when I say like you don't know how, like you have to be smart to figure some of this stuff out. And so like when you hear somebody who's like a comedian or an artist and they're talking about like, oh, like I'm going to release this next record and then like, it's just like, I'm going to keep doing this. And it's like, and then what? Like how is this going to work? Like, what are you doing? What's your path? Like, what's the plan for this? Like do people really want to listen to you? Like, what are you saying that like, can you watch what you're doing objectively and be like, is this actually of value? Can I act? Because a lot of you see it a lot in the open mic communities. You'll see somebody go up there and then they'll get off stage and be like, yeah, I think I just need to like work on this so I can get like, I'm just looking for like a 15-minute like Netflix spot. And you're like, Netflix? What are we doing here? Dude, go like, yeah, what are you talking about? They'll be like,
Yeah, those guys are,
or some people, they've been like doing it or sometimes it's like
4 months.
or it's just delusional. Like some people will be like, God bless, but they'll be like 60 years old and like just start doing comedy and being like, I'm just trying to like figure out like how to navigate this. And it's like, navigate this? Dude. Like you have to like, it's okay. You need a little bit of delusion to do this. You have to have it.
Facts.
But like, you also have to be able to look at yourself objectively and what you're doing and being like, how is this going to work out? And there's a lot of people, the most delusional people are like, I'm just going to, it's just going to work out. And a lot of these people I see, I think they genuinely think that like Tom Segura is going to see them at an open mic and be like, oh, come feature for me now.
When my sister died, like me and my dad found her. So like not only did she die, but I saw a dead body and it was my sister's. And it was purple. I love that you're smiling.
I'm not smiling. That's a good thing.
Like, yes. Experience that loss. You feel that death. But what it did was it made me like incapable of fearing death.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like it made me lose that thing that we all cling on to, which is like, and I love this. It's like we all have stuff. We're like, oh, this is my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Don't rearrange my stuff. Hey, I'm leaving. Can you watch my stuff? And then you fucking die. And then your stuff turns into crap. Like somebody get rid of this crap. Someone throw this crap in the garbage. Like someone, Like this is just taking up space. You know what I mean? Like your stuff doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I learned like everything that my sister possessed had lost its sentimental value, which is everything. Sentimental value is just how like our emotional attachment to materialistic bullshit. And people value the same things at such a capacity. When she died, I I was struck with this understanding of impermanence. And it's that like when I die, everything I own will mean nothing. So what can I really leave of value? How can I add value to the world? Like what do I have? Like that's not that doesn't matter. And it was so hard to like train myself into a mindset of valueless things in a world where we all value things. Like what that means is that when I first got in this van, I started showering at the gym. My parents work in like the upper middle class Silicon Valley, which means they're like moderately have money. They live in like one of the richest cities in America. Like I went to middle school in the same school as Steve Jobs. You know what I mean? Like that's where I went to school. Like and I left that and I said I want nothing. Guy, you want money or anything? Give me nothing. I'm gonna figure this out on my own. I don't want anything. And then people would be like, I don't know how I could do that. I'd talk to people my age, like talking to me about like, oh, college, like, oh, what are you doing in college? I don't even know what I'm doing here, man. I don't know. Like, I'm worried. I'm scared because I don't even know what I want to do, and I'm studying this thing, and I feel like I won't even enjoy. Like, I don't want to live that. Like, and it's not that I am not like willing to take the risk with like college that I'm willing to take with this. It's just what you said, bro. I don't want to do the things that I don't want to do. I want to do the things that I want to do now. So I said I'm getting in this van, and I started showering at the gym. And dude, I felt like, dude, when we self-deprecate as comedians, I felt that shit every day. Like I would go to the gym and shower at the gym, and I'd feel like a worthless piece of shit. I would fucking put my fingerprint on the 24-hour fitness thing, and the hot girl would be like, enjoy your workout. And I'm just like, fuck you. All right? Like, I'm here to shower, all right? I'm not here to enjoy my workout. I'm here to use your water because I'm poor right now. I'm not here to, and they would be hot too, and it would feel so bad because I would go in the gym with flip-flops, dude.
They know.
They know that I'm not there to work out, and they're still saying, enjoy your workout, you bullshit-ass hot bitch. You know what I mean? It pissed me off because you woke up this morning like 3 hours earlier than me so that you can look like that. And I woke up just now, and I'm in your and I'm in the gym shower.
You do not like how much time women put into their looks. It seems like
you know why I don't
really get you going.
You know why I don't? Because I used to value women, and I don't anymore. And I'm not saying I don't respect women. I'm saying that I don't value them as much as men do. Because and not like I still want to fuck women, and I still want to like
good. Oh, good.
I still want like I want a woman on my side, but the same way you're saying, I don't want like a low woman who's not gonna meet my needs. Like I'm looking at this resume, bro, of accomplishments, of who she is, of her characteristics.
So you want a business partner too?
Yes. Dude, and I'm 19, right? So, like, I can't have fun, but I'm still looking for that as I'm having fun. It's like, okay, I cannot be with this airhead. I can't even have sex with this airhead. I feel like if I'm fucking an airhead, I feel like I'm fucking a 12-year-old, bro. Like, I can't have sex with a not intelligent female because I literally feel like, okay, she's 25, which is 6 years older than me, but I literally feel like a pedophile right now. Having sex with like this girl because she turns around and she's like, like, are you enjoying this? Like, no, she goes like algebra, like, algebra. Did you do my homework? Like, no, it's not that I don't look, man. All I'm saying is this.
I hit a button again. Is it still on?
Talk.
Yeah,
you're fine. It's not that I don't want to have sex with this woman because she's an idiot. It's that I don't want to have sex with this woman because she's retarded. You know what I mean? Like I know this sounds really messed up, but I do the same thing with men. Like I can't spend time with men who I immediately know are not gonna be like valuable time, because I feel like everyone has something to give, and I always want to have a lot to give to someone, and I will make time to give to someone. But I know that at the same time I want to surround myself with people who have more than I do in terms of like knowledge, influence, intelligence, like understanding of the world, a perspective that I want to understand better, because that's how I'm going to grow. And I want to grow now. Like I'm 19, I want to grow now, you know? So for me, it's like I've detached from value. Like, and yes, when I'm at 24-hour fitness and I'm punching in my scanner, my phone number, and she looks at me and she's like, have a great workout. Like I've been here 13 times already, and I've been here for 5 minutes at a time. You already know that I'm not here to work out. You know what I am working out? I'm working out on my left hand, all right?
I mean, you're jerking off in the
Yes,
bathroom?
I'm jerking off at 24-hour fitness shower. That's what I came here to do, lady, and you know that, all right? She's like, enjoy, and then she'd be like, I hope you enjoy your workout. I'm like, yeah, check out my fucking bicep, bitch. Like, this shit pumped
Where do you
up.
masturbate in the van?
Right where you're sitting. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, and
No,
you're not
right there,
joking.
right there, actually. Like you see where that ass print is? Right here. No, on the couch.
Yep,
Sometimes I do it standing though, you know. But yeah, I have a paper towel. I have a paper towel. It's all good. But that's all I'm saying is that I've learned to disassociate from like material goods, and I cook my own food, and I take care of myself, and I take care of this van, and I take care of my finances, and I'm investing in myself financially and mentally and comedically and in any way that I can so that I could be the fucking best. Because I don't want to be in this world to die in the middle. Like if I'm in comedy, bro, I'm gonna die at the fucking very, very top. And I know that sounds so arrogant, and I know I'm 19, and I know there's like bigger guys than me, and I know that like I'm talking to you right now, and I'm not even amazing at comedy, but I don't care if I'm not right now because I know I will be, because I'm not gonna stop working and other people will. That's it.
I believe you, dude. I totally believe you. Are you, after seeing your sister die, are you scared of death more or less?
A lot less.
A lot less?
Because before my sister died, my life was like this:
What does that mean?
problem, solution, problems.
I can't. What are you doing with your hands?
Think about like a wave. Okay, like this is just a stagnant. This is nothing's happening. So my life was kind of like this, right? Like just
Pretty
typical day.
Pretty easy. Yeah.
My brain hasn't. Yeah, exactly. Like pretty easy. My brain hasn't really like produced the concept of like anything like life.
Frontal
threatening.
cortex isn't fully developed.
Yeah, literally. No, yeah. Frontal cortex. I'm still a fucking monkey, bro. Like just like, and then that's what these are. Like, and then my sister died, and it was like, you know, and then went all the way down here, and then when my life went from like this, and then it went like this, and then when I got all the way down here, my brain was like, it was this moment of like, okay, if I can make it all the way down here, which is not something I'm used to. I'm used to everything on the stagnant line. If I can live all the way down here, there is no way that I cannot make it all the way up. You know? So that's when I took like a leap of faith and a really strong belief in myself of like, okay, I can continue living like all these other people and stay on this line, or I can go over there and die trying, and I might not even make it, but at least I'll have a lot more like fun, but also I'll have a lot more life. I'll do more. I'll live more. I'll experience more. I'll fuck more. Like I'll have more life, and that's what I want. More life. That's why I live in this van, because it gives me more life. It makes me live. I don't want to wake up in a cubicle, bro. Like I'd rather wake up on this fucking couch. Like than to be in front of a computer and do shit that I don't want to do, you know?
Yeah, this all happened pretty recently.
2 years, yeah.
Processed all that? Like, how'd you get over? Because you seem good. Maybe it's something because I know you're a master of hearing people. And
No, that's not what I meant. Fuck.
Like Dana Carvey, but like, you seem good. Like mentally well and stuff like that. And is that right now? Is that you still processing a lot of what happened, or is there something that? How did
You want to know
get to that
something?
spot?
When my sister died, about 2 months after she died, I created me and my mom found all of her art in her closet.
Yeah.
And I found out how talented she was, and it killed me to see this undiscovered potential. And I created a clothing brand out of her art. And I sold so many clothing pieces. We raised over like $10,000 for suicide prevention, depression research nonprofits. 100% of it went to that. It was on the news too.
Yeah.
So it went like it got pretty big, and
and I was happy, but it didn't feel anything. Like she was still like not there, but it kind of like, I guess I'm never gonna not process it. I guess I'm always gonna be processing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's that's such an intense thing to deal with. And then, is this what you're doing? That influenced you? It sounds like it did.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't do that, would you be here right now?
No, I'd be in college. I'd continue living this life of like stagnant fear, because that's what stagnant is. It's just a life of fear. Like it's just a life of like, I don't want to cross these boundaries. Because my fear was, before my sister died, my fear was that she would commit suicide. She attempted suicide before, and she had depression, and she would talk about it. And it was always like this fear that she would. And so I would always try to like avoid that conversation, avoid having to deal with that. And then that's where my fear got me. Like it got me down there, and it was like, yo, fuck it. Like, fuck everyone. Fuck what people think about me. Fuck everything. I'm gonna give a shot at life. Like I'm not gonna. I can always go back to college. I could be 24, go back to college, just like you said, and I'll be fine. By the time I'm 28, I'll be like, I could graduate and be like, great. But this is my chance to like give myself a chance, you know? And I fucking love what I've become so far, because I literally see the shit that people live, and like the lies that they tell themselves to feel like they're not living this dull lifestyle that they hate.
Especially like religion is a big one. If you grow up a certain way, if you grow up in a certain like political upbringing, a lot of that stuff seems to like, for a lot of people, just get like, it goes through them and like sticks inside of them and like becomes who they are. So
Wait, so don't you think that hear me out with this, and I'm posing this as a question that I want you to answer. Don't you think that life, like the school system, I guess, like is kind of a religion then, in the case of what you're saying?
well, it's like a way of life. Yeah.
So it's a religion then.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe.
It's a belief.
It's a belief system that this is like a way to live, and it seems to have pretty good results for the most part when you compare like, okay, going to school, getting educated overall is going to be more positive than like, oh, you're 3 years old, like go smash a duck's head for your breakfast or whatever like that. And then tell me like, count how many fins it has. We'll do math that like however it is. Like what we do now is probably, we've been doing it for a long time for a reason, because it's generally going to be a better way to live and going to give more people, provide more longevity for humans and all that kind of stuff if we're doing it this way. So I mean, it can kind of be a religion, but like also like I love, there's like, I think growing up, a lot of people like to be rebellious because it's like the cool thing to do. Like, oh, I want to live outside of society. Like society is not for me. Society's good. Society is good. Like when you look at this civilization and society, it's like, dude, like now being like 30 years old, like going camping, and when people are like, oh, how nice is this? It's like, get me to the fucking mall right now. Get me an orange. Society is amazing. What we have built is good. Buildings are cool. Like all this stuff, that's what I like. I think that is much more impressive than like some big fucking rock with some snow on it, wherever you're going, like.
You really hate traveling, bro.
I like society. I like inside. I like what humans do.
Are you introverted?
I would say I'm overall. I can be extroverted, but like when it like this is a thing for me now. I don't go to parties I don't want to go to, or like as soon as this is why I drive everywhere. Like as soon as I'm done, I'm out. So I've being married and been in long relationships before. I know how much for it to work, how much emotional energy it takes. And I don't take that really lightly anymore. I don't want to waste anybody's time or my time. So, like, I like creating, like, this is going to, like, emotional friendships. I like having those.
Yeah.
Because those are, to me, they're longer lasting. They're more genuine. But, like, emotional connection with, like, I don't have anything to offer. Like, I'm not there for you. So if somebody, like, if there was a girl who was, like, relying on me emotionally or anything like that, it's like just I'm like not available.
So what's the point of the relationship then?
Well, right now there is no point. Hopefully, like.
But okay, so look, I understand no relationships, no sex, even like, not even to like for fun. Like you're not trying to pursue.
Yeah. I mean, I tried that for a while, but like it ended up not being, it ended up being more stress than it ended up being fun.
Okay.
So like at first it's like, yeah, like I'll have these, sexual relationships with, chicks, and it won't be emotional, and it'll just be, fun and light. But it always either, and usually from my end, it could be from their end too, but somebody gets too attached. Someone's feelings end up getting, and like your mind gets like poisoned by this. And I lose and then like as soon, like I said, I haven't been with anybody for a long time, so I'm curious if it'd be different now. But I don't really, what other people think of me does not affect me at all. If I'm in a romantic relationship with somebody, what that person thinks of me affects me greatly. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh, this person knows me really well, and so if they start going like, oh, I don't really like this guy, then I internalize that, and then that messes with my brain quite a lot.
You don't really care what like strangers think about you, but when it comes to someone who like is getting to know you and becoming an emotional like relationship, like that's what you don't.
And so
maybe you have like a fear of judgment in a way.
Well, I don't know,
or not being accepted or something.
I think that's part of it, but a lot of it was like I said, I think it's probably going to be different now, but I wasn't super like confident in who I was as a person. So I'm like, oh, I'm getting that from this other person. So if the relationship is good and this person likes me, that's where I'm getting my like confidence and like my reassurance from. And if that was rocky or if that was falling apart, and this is why my relationships would always turn to shit, because if that started to get shaky, I would like panic. It's like, dude, I'm losing the only like this. I need this to like. This is where my source of like confidence in who I am comes from. This thing, which is very bad and unhealthy. That's one fear I have about getting into a relationship with somebody else now. Is like, I'm so good. My life is so peaceful. Everything is good. Like, I don't want to bring somebody into that, and then all of a sudden, like all this, like have it like be shaken up because whatever is my brain now is, right now I get all my self-worth from like the things I'm doing and all the work I'm doing on myself. And like,
right.
Am I going to go back to my old habits of putting my self-worth, like giving it to this person and being like, do whatever you want with this. Like, if you want to crush me, you can totally do it.
Wow.
But if,
oh, that's real.
So I don't know. Like, I'm like, don't want to do that right now.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Because, dude, it takes me, if I like get my heart broken, it takes me, I'm not a bounce back quick guy. I like lose 30 pounds.
Wow, dude.
I can't eat. I can't focus.
Jeez.
I'm just like and it takes months.
You know what's crazy though is that like, you don't really give that off, but I don't think I've ever been like heartbroken. But I do think I have this wall where like that like prevents me from that, because I'll be like, okay, this girl, I know I'm gonna like her a lot, but I know it's gonna be hard for me to like pursue her because she has a boyfriend or a husband or something. So I'm gonna get over her now.
Okay. Going after the wrong people. There's usually two things that you should stay away from.
I do that, bro. I feel like I always want what I can't have. You know what I mean? I feel like I always want like what I know is morally wrong. And that's what attracts me, because I like what's morally wrong. I like to do what everyone else hates to do, you know? And I learned that through this lifestyle, to be real with you. Like what I was saying about the gym, it took me a while to come out of that. It took me a while to confidently open that gym door and walk past that bitch and be like, oh no, enjoy my workout. No, I'm going to shower in this bathroom with some suave soap.
He's brought it up like 4 times. He cannot stand.
Have sex with her, okay? I just want to have sex with his hot.
Literally got his heart broken by the front desk lady. That's what's good. Not even.
She doesn't even know my name, this bitch.
Oh my god.
Okay, look, she didn't break my heart, but it's not. Okay, look, I've learned a lot from her. She doesn't know who I am. She probably forgets about me every time I walk past.
She sees your name pop up.
Yeah, she sees my name and forgets. Dude, she doesn't give a shit about me, and I give a shit about her for some reason. But it's only because I go through like just all that I learned was like the reason why I make such a big deal about that situation is because it was actually like a very minor thing that was like a milestone. Like to do things that are like frowned upon, I guess. And it also came from I used to live in a penthouse too. So like it went
Nice
from
house.
no. I lived in a penthouse.
Penthouse, that isn't penthouse like rich, nice?
Yes.
That's
I
what
used
said.
to live sorry. No, because it wasn't like my parents' house. I lived there like on my own with like roommates in Israel. Tel Aviv, the most expensive city in the entire world, by the way. In the world.
Now I
I
get
live-
ads for Tel Aviv on YouTube saying it's the party city of the world
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. It
I
is.
have a joke about that.
I'm ready to hear it.
No, you're not.
I want to hear it right after this. I do. I lived in Gini, Tel Aviv, and whoever is watching this that lives in Israel for some reason, I don't know why they are, can preach for this. It's the most expensive penthouse tower in Tel Aviv. Everyone can see it because it's the tallest tower. It's 40 floors, I think, or maybe even more. And I lived on the 34th floor. So I would go home every day to this fucking view where you could see literally all of Israel, bro. From this view, you could see the beach, you could see like the towers around you, like the entire city, the lights, the cars. It looks like you're looking at like the aerial view of GTA. Like that's how crazy it was. And I went from that to living in a van and showering at the gym. And the reason why I make such a big deal out of that is because what that taught me was when I was living in that penthouse, I valued that lifestyle. But I was miserable. And now I live in a car and I'm loving life. And I was miserable in this expensive, divine, elegant lifestyle. And now I live in this fucking trash. And I love it. And I only love it because I learned to detach myself from like everything that Like I want to fail. Like people are so afraid to fail. I want to fail so bad. I want to lose everything. I want to fuck everything up. I want to do everything. I want to lose money. I want to make money. I want to do everything that you're afraid to do. Like everything that you want to do in your brain, I want to, but you're not doing it. I want to do that. Like everything that. Like, I hate when I'm like, okay, I have a guy's night. Like, I have a show coming up, and it has to be perfect. It has to be this. I have to sell out. I have to do that. I have to headline. I have to have my jokes ready. This, like, I let that go, bro. If I have something important coming up, I know that that's just one of many things that I need to do right now. It's not just this show that I have in a month that's important. I also have to start my merch line. I also have to plan this tour that I want to go on. I also have to book all these other shows. I also have to make these solar deals. I also have to invest in this real estate. I also have to invest in like stocks or in rental properties or cars or something to increase like my value as a human being. But at the same time, I don't care if it doesn't work out because of this huge trust that I've embedded in myself from having nothing and being at this fucking bottomness and loving it. I fucking have nothing, and I feel so much value, more value than I ever had living in a fucking penthouse. I feel more value. I feel like women or people, and this is so arrogant. I feel like there's people, I'm not even going to say this out loud, never mind. I feel like there's people, I'm not going to say it. I feel like,
Say it. Pop off. Just do it.
I feel like I've gotten to a point in my life where I have so much nothing that I see people now and I can't give a shit about what they think of me or who I am or what I'm doing. I can't give a shit. I physically cannot. And I feel like every person I meet, I'm never afraid to like I'm interviewing them. Like this all sounds ridiculously fucked up, but every person that I meet, I feel like I'm like when for example, I approach a lot of women, okay? I've lost my fear of like approaching women. I knock doors for a living, bro. I get kicked out of houses for a living, bro. I get led into houses for a living. I get people screaming at me. I get people who hug me. I get people who cry in front of me, who smile in front of me, who share their hard, strong beliefs, who tell me about their dead daughter or dead son. I get real life shit every day that I've lost my ability to give a fuck what people think. Like that's why I love going door to door, because it taught me not to give a fuck, and it taught me it built this beast. So now I will approach a woman, and I know I need to approach her because I know she's not gonna approach me even if she likes me. I already know that like I need to do everything, and I will take that action because I think she's attractive, and I'm not there to try to fuck her. I'm not there to try to get her number. I'm not there to try to impress her. I'm there to give her maybe a minute or two to figure out if she's gonna be worth my time going forward. And the reason why I do that is because when I knock on a door, I have a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get this person to let me in their house or let me in their backyard. And in that 2 minutes, I'm not deciding whether or not they want me to help them. I'm deciding whether or not I want to invest my time into helping them, because solar selling is not like regular selling. Solar selling is a process of 2 to 3 months before you get paid. You need to hold this person's hand all the way up until permits are submitted, a city approves it, the utility company does their inspection, until you schedule a site survey, until you do any scope of work that needs to be done on the home. There's so much that goes into it that I need to know right now if I want to move forward with this person. So when I meet a woman or when I meet any type of human being, I'm not doing this because I'm fucked up or like out of spite or like out of just like because I'm better than anyone, because I'm not. I do this because when I meet this person, I need to figure out if this person is gonna last. So when I'm approaching a girl, I'm not going there to try to fuck her. I don't care how she looks. I really don't. Her looks are the first step. Think about it like this, and this is such a weird analogy. Her looks are like the house. First thing I look at is the roof. Is it a nice roof? Will I have problems dealing with it? I look at the how the house is decorated, put together. Is it a nice house? I'm trying to see the meter on the side if I can, trying to look at her cleavage. Is that a nice meter? Is it upgraded? Is it upgraded? Is there work done on that meter? Okay, there's work done. Okay, maybe I'll go. Oh, there's a nice roof. Oh, fat ass. Okay. Oh, okay, she's put together. She does her makeup. She has decorations. I'm gonna approach her because she's passed my preliminary inspection. And this is such a fucked up way to view women, but it's how I view everyone and men. Like not like in a gay way, but like in like a way of like building relationships. Okay, now that I'm going there, I'm gonna knock on the door. Now I'm meeting the person inside, the person who lives in this house, the person who's inside this woman, like the personality of this woman. Now I'm meeting her. The looks is the house. I've already passed that stage. Now I'm meeting her. Does she have at least 10 of the characteristics that I'm looking for in a woman? Is she ambitious? Is she, or like out of 10, does she have at least 8? You know, like.
I have like 3 maybe.
I mean, I wrote them down because I want to. Like, is she ambitious? Does she is she hot? Does she have goals? Is she like work? Like, I don't know. I can't. I have them written down, but I can't think of them off the bat. After I meet a girl, I would look at the list and be like, okay, does she have that? Does she fit the criteria? But anyways, when I'm meeting the girl, I'm like, okay, this is how she is. This is this is what she values. This is what she's looking for. I'm like getting to know her. This is her sense of humor. Do I connect with that? In a minute, I can know whether to go. And sometimes she's not even interested in me. Sometimes she's like giving me her back, her shoulder. She's not talking to me. She's not looking at me. She's not making any eye contact. If I can tell that she's not interested, I have a 3-no policy. I might give it another shot. I might try to see like another way, like to like try to initiate an interaction. And then I'm going to come to the conclusion of either one, she's just not an interesting person that I want to get to know better. Or number 2, she's not interested in me and I don't want to like chase her because I don't see the value in it now. And I've already now talked to her to know that I don't want to deal with that. You know, so I will approach this woman not to have sex with her, not to this or to prove to myself anything or for my self-esteem boost or to show other guys that I'm with at the bar that I can do that. I will approach her to figure out if this is a person that I see have value in getting to know better. And I will not have sex with her for a week. I will not have sex with her maybe for 2 weeks or maybe even a month. And maybe that's an excuse.
This is all stuff you came up with. Obviously, you said you haven't had sex in 3 years, so this is all stuff from when you were younger.
No, I haven't had sex in a long time. Don't get me wrong. That's facts. I have not had sex in a long time. But that's helped me get to know women better and not just chase her pussy. That's the only thing I'll say about this. I'm probably making an excuse for why I haven't fucked in a long time. I probably am. But I probably am also have learned to not go for women just because they're hot. I've learned to go for women because they have high value. That's what it also has taught me, is to stop looking for pussy and start looking for value. So now I go to women and I'm talking to them with no fear, and I'm because honestly I've also read so many books about like understanding like behavioral psychology just for sales to like understand that like it's never really me that like is not like I'm saying I'm never the problem. Like it's never really me that's like that they're like turning away from. It's like they're and if they're interested in me, that's perfect. I want to know that. Like and then that gives me a reason to go. But also I learned that like if she doesn't want like there's something that's like that like that's happening in her life or that she's looking for that I'm not like fitting the criteria of, it's never personal. She's never like personally rejecting me for who I am. She just met me a minute ago. How would she know that I'm like not for her? And if she's made that conclusion already, then I'm ready to go. So for me, it's just like, okay, is this a person I want to invest my time into? And I'm gonna take the step forward because I first think she's attractive to go up and see that. And then like you said, you want to date your friends. I don't want to have sex with her immediately. I want her to be my friend first. And I want to see if we vibe as a friendship. And if we vibe as a friendship, then I'll make my move. And I'll vibe as a fucking, like, as a relationship, you know? So that's how I see it. Sales in solar has taught me so much about relationships and women. Like, more than I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for it, bro.
Yeah, I like that solar analogy. Could be like an animated story, man. You look at that. You look at the house first because it's got a nice roof. It's got nice tits. It's got all this stuff, and then you go inside. Where's the water heater?
Yes, yes. Where's the water heater? What can I play with? Does she have light switches? Are they on? Should you turn them off to like get less electricity? Like you need energy in the home. Like I'm looking for those things. Like because a lot of guys approach girls for two reasons. One, to like boost their self-esteem, or two, to fuck them, which is usually just to boost their self-esteem, you know? And I learned very young, like I'm 19, bro. I learned very young that I don't wanna like fuck any woman. Also because sometimes my dick doesn't even work when I don't like a woman. Like my dick will decide for me sometimes. Yeah. Like if I don't like a girl, dude, my dick won't even work. Like it'll be like, guy, we're out of here. And I'll be like, all right, sayonara. Like like my dick decided, you know? Dead ass. I've had, and that's part of the reason also why I haven't had sex in a while. Because I've had times where I would get, like, a girl would pull out my dick and it would be like, bloop, 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 bloop. And she's like, like, she's like,
Oh my
she's like, is it gonna work? And I'm like, yeah, just give it a minute. And she's like, and it's like, it's not
disgusting
she's
image to imagine.
she's like, it's not working. And I'm like, she's like, it's not working. And I'm like, you know what? You're the problem. Get out of here. Like, no, I used to.
You're the problem.
No.
Yeah.
Fucking move this goddamn cup. No, it's not that she'd be like, I wouldn't say you're the problem, but I used to blame myself always. And now I don't blame her, but I do have, like, I do respect my dick now. And I'm always like, all right, maybe she's not the problem, but maybe there's some emotional connection that hasn't been built yet. Because I literally get hard off of emotional connection. Like if I'm emotionally attracted to you, then my sexual attraction will get higher. If I'm not even emotionally attracted to you and you're just hot, you need more than that, like to get me going. And that's probably why I haven't had sex. This is all a giant facade for me having no pussy for 3 years, all right? This is all just one big lie that I tell myself. I've decomposed and deconstructed this giant lie for my sexless life.
You're 19. I can't remember when I had sex. I think I was 19 or 20 when I first had sex.
Wow. Damn. So.
15 with another 15-year-old dude. That's gnarly.
I mean, but that's the thing is that it was all validation. It was all self-esteem. I think everything we do is for validation. Everything. Name anything right now that we're not doing for validation. What are we doing right now? We're doing this for validation. For the people watching. What do we not do for validation?
I think the stuff you don't do for validation would have to be like stuff you do for yourself. But that's also being like, because I'm big on I don't really post. If I'm posting anything on social media, it's all silly. I don't post about my life. I don't like sharing about my life. If I do something that I'm proud of, I get more, I guess, if you want to call it validation, internal validation, if nobody knows. If I do something, like for me, if I do something good for somebody, like a selfless act, as soon as I tell somebody that I did that, to me it ruins it. Because then it's like, oh, you didn't do this to help this person. You did it because
you wanted to tell
somebody. And that, so, and that's like I learned that from my dad too, and that's like a big thing like my family does is when you help somebody and you like somebody needs your help and you help them or you help them without them asking, don't tell anybody you did it, you know. And like it'll make you feel better and it'll keep that the act like more pure into like, oh, this was an act of kindness to help this person. Because as soon as that nothing drives me more crazy than when like somebody comes up to me and talks about like how many people they helped, how much they donated to this,
Right.
and I'm like, dude, fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You know, like that's because then it completely flips it from being like a selfless act of service to being like
Right.
a selfish act of like that validation for stuff.
Yeah.
And like also with like comedy too. Here's one thing that I don't know if I could have done this like I said when I was younger. Is a lot
Yeah.
of comedians do comedy and they get on stage for like internal validation. Right? They get up there and here's a big problem I have that drives me insane that I see with comedians specifically, but with like actors, musicians. When I hear this is the phrase that makes me want to lose my mind is when somebody says, "I'm just following my dream right now." I hate that
Why?
because it's like such a selfish thing to do and it will not work if you are doing something for you have to do things for other people. Kind of what I was talking about before, like, oh, when you enter the comedy scene, are you helping other people and is everybody like benefiting because now you're part of this scene? Are you helping other people? With the mindset of going into like, I'm just following my dream, that is just saying I am up here for myself and my dream. Why would anybody else give a shit about that? Like,
But what
Like,
if
oh
what
my
if
God.
what if your dream though can impact other people positively?
And here's the one thing that I almost like lost it on this. Obviously I didn't, 'cause I'm a sane person. Like, it was like at some bar, open mic, where nobody wants you to be there, by the way. They do not want anyone up there. And so this guy is up there, and he is talking. He's doing comedy, whatever you want to call it, and nobody is listening. And then he drops this line. He goes, "Oh, yeah, who gives a shit? I'm just following my dream up here." And that drives me, because it's like, dude, if you want, like, that's what I'm talking about, people being oblivious to, like, and delusional of not, nobody gives a fuck about your dream. Like, if you want to get up here and do this, you better be, like, offering something to people. Like, they want to come see, you don't go see Louis,
Right.
Nobody goes, "Oh, I want to go see Louis C.K. Who is that?" "Oh, it's some guy who's following his dream." Nobody gives a shit. Like, you have to be up there, like, no, if you are,
Imagine, bro. Dude, imagine, bro. That's actually such a dude. Oh
no,
my
but
God.
people, like, have this thing in their
Imagine
head.
selling something and being like, why do you want me to buy this project? Because I'm chasing my dream.
No,
I'm
chasing your dream, that's like, if you want to chase your dream, go to fucking bed. There's like no reason, like, that is such like a cliche high school thing to be, and like, that is what I'm talking about, delusional people who are being like, I'm going to do comedy because it's my dream. It's like, dude, that's, you're missing the point. Like, you have to be doing this, whether it's comedy, whether it's selling solar, like, you have to be successful. I genuinely believe you have to be doing it for other people because you want to help other people. And like, that's one thing, like I said, I don't know if I could have done comedy till I was 30 because I'm a funny guy and I make people happy with the way I am. Like, I'm like, dude, I can like want to do this for more people. And like, at first, like, especially when I was doing music at first, I was doing music because I wanted to follow my dream. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to get drunk. I wanted to party. I wanted to do that. Crashed and burned. Now that I've been like approaching comedy with more of like, I am doing this because I have this thing that I believe makes people's lives better. I believe like the things, you know, me getting in front of people and talk, I think it's making people's lives, and that's a little bit delusional, but I'm seeing it like having a positive impact on people's lives. So I'm like, I think it's a gift that I have that I can give to other people, and like approaching it from a point of like, how can I like give this to as many people as possible versus like, how can I like follow my own dream of like being, because here's the thing too. You see it in the entertainment industry. There's people who are funny people who are comedians who want to be good comics. There's like people who want to do that with acting, some of them. But But there's a lot of comics and a lot of people who are just like, I want to be famous, and this is one way to do it. You know, and there's a lot that drive, like there are those types of people, and it's probably the majority of people who are just like, I want to be famous. I'm gonna do stand up until somebody sees me and I can go on The Bachelor. I'm gonna do, you know, it doesn't matter. And there's people that are like that, and like you kind of, for me, like as soon as it's very easy to tell who's like coming this from a place of like, I have this gift that I want to give to people, and like this talent that I've worked on is gonna make people's lives better and make people laugh, versus like somebody like, I'm gonna be on the red carpet. I'm gonna be in fucking the new season of Blackish. I'm gonna be doing all. It's like, who gives a shit, dude?
Yeah.
Like, it drives me insane when I see like, and there's so many people, especially with acting. It's like acting's the worst of all of them, I think. I think
Yeah,
comedy
that's
is, like, second.
that's the oversaturated community of people who just want to be famous.
Stand up is
acting.
also, there's a lot of people who just want, because there's
But you can tell who is.
yeah, you can tell, and it's just like, dude,
There's so many fakes.
it's like, yeah, and it's like, dude, you're doing this for yourself. And if you're young and you're doing it for yourself, that's like, there's no way around. That's how you get into it. You know, that's like the addicting thing. Like, you're doing it for yourself. But then, like, you have to, at some point, sit down with yourself and look at this and be like, am I doing this for myself, or is this actually
But
providing
wait.
value?
So to tie it all together, you're saying that like when you chase your dream, you have to chase your dream, but also provide value to the people who are like supporting it
If
or
you,
like
if you
around.
want it to be,
Like if you want to be successful, you can't just chase your dream and be delusional and hope people that.
that's coming from a place of like selflessness, and you can pitch it as your dream, like, oh, my dream is to help people or whatever it is, but like, for it to be like a sustainable thing that's not propped up by like, because if you want to just get out there and dump a bunch of money into whatever you're doing and like be grinding all the time, that's fine. But if you want to build like a sustainable thing, it has to be like providing value for other people. That's like,
Yeah, man.
so that's when like,
Well, that's the thing is that, but I hope you're not saying you should do art for other people. I hope that's not what you're saying. I think that art. I think that's the beauty of art. It's kind of totally opposite of what you're saying. Is that like art is something that you chase. You write. Think about like a poet. Like a poet writes poetry, and sometimes it's so vague that like the way they wrote it can only be interpreted by the listener in a way totally different than why they wrote it. Or like a painting that you see that's just like green and has like red lines. Like someone might be like death, and then someone else might be like grass with like mushrooms. You know, like it's like maybe by, I see what you're saying as like, okay, chase your dreams and then you'll get like, but also don't forget that you need to add value to other people. But maybe just the sole act of chasing your dreams is in itself an act of providing value.
I mean, it could be. There's definitely that.
Because think about it like
There's
this:
tons of
you're
people
a
out there.
funny ass comedian, bro. You're hilarious to me. Like you are so hilarious to me, bro. Like you are one of my favorite comedians in LA. I think you're the top 3. Like,
Fuck yeah.
but
Come for number 1, dude.
you're not here yet. Like you want to be here, but you're here still. But there's some people who see your potential and admire your craft and are like, yo, he's chasing his dreams, which is like an intrinsic desire, like it's like in like kind of like selfish focus. But because it adds value, because it's art and it creates value to others, then we support it. We want to see him thrive. I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna buy his merch. I'm gonna go to his concert. I'm gonna buy tickets to his show. And
Yeah.
you're providing value because you're chasing your dream. You're only able to sell tickets to an audience because you have an audience to sell tickets to that support you because they support the art that you're
Yeah.
chasing because that's your dream.
Here's how I'd frame it, though, because for me, I don't know if this language will help, but like, not using the follow your dream language, it feels to me like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah.
Like the reason I am like doing comedy is because I think I get my intrinsic value from, and this is like, dude, as you get older, you realize all the basic shit you were taught growing up is like so true. Like the purpose of life is just like to help people and provide like like there's so like all that stupid shit you hear when you're young that's so simple. It's like it just gets more and more true as you get older. So like for me, I feel like I'm able to connect and help most people right now, and this is like also a little bit delusional by being silly and doing comedy
Why is that delusional?
because it's like for somebody to say like, oh, my biggest value is getting on stage and talking about how I eat credit cards.
Okay,
You know,
but delusional to who? Okay, do you want to be the average person? Do you want to impress the average? Like that's what I'm saying is that like it's not delusional. It's all about perspective. So you're kind of creating this group of people who know what's right, and you're like, oh, but the fact that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is eating credit cards and talking about it on stage, is because it's weird to these people that it's like you have this like attachment to this group of people who I guess like maybe like your high school peers or some maybe don't even exist, and you're like, this is what we should be doing. Like there's no shoulds, dude. Like dude, eat a credit card and talk about it.
I do.
There's people who want to hear about it.
Yeah. So, but
I want to hear about it. Tell me about this fucking credit card that you
I'll
ate.
tell you about the bit later. But here's the thing. It's more of just like, and here's one thing I will say where I am way more malleable, I guess is the word. When I was playing music, my vision for myself was so strong. I was so stubborn. Like I had to be a rock star. I had to be. So anything good that would come into my life, I wouldn't listen to the universe at all. I wouldn't listen to anything. If it didn't fit into my very narrow vision I had for myself, which is be this biggest rock star in the world, I would push it away. And ultimately, that made me extremely, extremely unhappy. And if I would have kept going down that path, it would have been very bad.
Because so you balance.
And also, here's what I'm saying too: is like, there's a lot of mindset, especially for something like comedy, where it's like, I have to be doing this for the rest of my life. I would like really recommend to people who are younger to just be very like right now I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. If that changes, that changes. You know, so if I'm 40 years old and my life went a different path because I was doing the things that I was listening to the universe, I was like being present in the moment, not being so stubborn and like being like I have to be a comedian, because you'll see people who are stubborn like that who have to be comedians. They're 10 years in, fucking miserable. They hate it. They hate doing stand up. They say they're turning on the crowds. Fuck you guys. I hate comedy. I hate this. It's like, so why are you doing it, dude? At a certain point, you have to, like, it's not, and a lot of people like associate like, oh, if I don't do the thing I said I was going to be when I was a kid, if I'm not a rock star, which I wanted to be since I was 12, I somehow lost and I quit. I gave up. But people change. Your vision for yourself should change. That's just how it is. So right now, and this is what's given me so much peace in my life, is I just am very more present and listening to what I am doing and being like, does this feel right? And sometimes, you know, that doesn't mean it's easy all the time. Comedy sucks. You do shitty shows. You bomb. You have weeks where you like can't figure anything out. Like nothing's working. That's fine. Like overall is like, do I feel like this is good? Is this fitting in? Or am I like jamming like a square peg into a round hole, like trying to make this thing work? And so for me, like, yeah, like I have my vision for myself now is like, oh yeah, in 20 years I want to be I do want to be a comedian. But if somewhere along this lines, like you have these different experiences, you change as a person, like you don't have to be prisoner to your own vision, which is a lot of people being. That almost destroyed me with music.
That's
And
deep.
I felt like a failure for so long after, because everybody thinks you quit, you gave up, like you didn't succeed, like you moved on, like you said you would never give up on this, you said you'd stick with this forever, but it's like, dude, it was making you so unhappy, like you weren't listening, like there's so many other things in life that would have been really great for you that you just pushed away because it didn't fit into this like pinhead vision of what you had. And so that's what I try and help younger people with, who are like, especially when you're doing something hard like comedy, it's like, hey, like it's
By younger people, he's referring to me. Indirectly.
You're 33 years old.
He's trying to give me indirect advice,
No,
which
but
is fire advice.
it's just don't be a prisoner to your own. It's okay to change and be malleable. You're gonna change as a person. If you never changed, it's crazy now thinking that like I wanted it. Like a lot of people have these dreams when they're 12 years old and they try and fulfill them when they're 33. It's like, dude, you're not the same person you were when you're 12. Like there's so many experiences that you're going to go through and like perspective changes that you're going to have where like maybe if like if it starts feeling right and it's like not making you happy, like you don't have to do it. And that's not saying it's always going to be easy, but you don't have to like one. You're not a failure if you don't do the thing that you said you were going to do when you're 20 years old. I think a lot of people that messed with me for a long time, and I lost a lot of. I could have grown a lot more and experienced a lot more if I would have been better at listening and been like when I realized that like maybe 25 years old, like playing in bands and doing this lifestyle was making me incredibly unhappy, and I could have changed something about it instead of being like, no, you said you were going to do this, you're going to do it, keep powering through. When you get to the end, it'll be worth it. But like the further I would go down and the farther I'd get, the more unhappy I was getting. So I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Why is this not making me happy? I wanted to do this since I was 12 and I'm miserable. Like just be you. If you are doing what feels right and like what you're supposed to be doing and you're listening to the universe, you don't know where you're going to end up. You'll end up in the right place. So that's why I say, like, when people are like, oh, you want to be a comedian in 10 years? Like, I think so right now. But if not, and I go a different path and something else, that's okay. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I'm confident what I'm doing right now is going to get me, which may be stand up in 20 years. It could be writing. It could be selling solar. Who knows? You know, you don't know. But, like, just listen to what feels right and just have trust. Like, I put a lot of trust in I used to put all my trust in myself and my vision, and that was not good. Put more trust in the universe. Like, the universe wants what's good for you. Listen. Things feel good. Sometimes it's okay to just go with it. And if you just keep listening, like really being present, listening, yeah, I'm confident you'll end up where you want to be. You know, and that's why I think you see a lot of comedians who, even if they're successful and they're older, they're very bitter. You know, because it's also like that being married thing where it's like, I spent 20 years on this. Like, I have to keep doing it because
people look back at the time they've invested and people don't want to feel like they've made a bad decision.
Yes.
Lasted that long.
And so that's why it's one of those, especially man, like I can't even imagine if you're like a super successful comedian and you've done that, you put in the work, it's extremely difficult.
All right.
You know, and then like, oh, this didn't make me happy, but like I'm successful at it, and like maybe less than 1% of people who do this, I mean way less, are successful, and you somehow manage to get successful. You're like, I have to do that. I have to keep doing this. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean.
That's probably what we do, huh?
I was gonna say the same thing.
You just say the same thing just a little bit differently.
That's all.
Like this whole time, all you were really saying was like don't be a prison to your own vision in just like different ways.
30 different ways.
Don't do it until you're 30. Don't do it when you're 20. Don't do it when you're 11. Like, it's not the same dream when you're 11. It's not the same dream when you're 20. You're a different person when you're 30. You're a different person when you're 31.
You can cut that last 15 minutes down to about 20 seconds.
Probably. I'll put don't be a prison to your vision, and then be going, wow, and then it'll just cut to the next bit. No, all I was gonna say was, I really agree with you. I feel like a lot of people fear, and me included. I'll just say I fear that out of all that, I think I have this fear that my love for this will die, but then I also have this feeling that it will never die. So it's like, but then I learned that if it does, which I don't think it will, honestly, I trust myself to still go with whatever the flow wants me to be. And that's and this sounds very strange, but that's why I look up to people who follow like repressed groups, like people who like go towards like a path that's not like right in society. Like anything that's like being a comedian is one of those things. It's like it takes balls to be a stand-up comedian. Like to be on a stage, yes, which like has never been a problem for me, honestly. But the balls of like the deviation from the path, that's why people are like, I've already been in this for so long, I don't want to go, because people don't want to deviate from something that's already built. It's actually a persuasion tactic. It's called consistency. Very simple. And it's just that people like to feel consistent with who they are or with what people believe they are or with what they've promised something or someone. If I knock on a door and say, hey, your neighbor Sally just told me you were really nice, and then I go into my pitch from that, just from that 2 seconds, they're going to feel entitled to hold that belief because of Sally. You know, they don't want to like disappoint like Sally's belief or like create like this, like, oh, I'm not nice. And they want to perceive that. And now I have them in my grip without them even knowing. You know what I mean?
All these
But
snaky sales tactics, you know.
But it's like it's the same thing with life. Is that people don't want to deviate from like the college path because they just invested 4 years into college. People don't want to deviate from like to stand-up comedy because first of all, like you said, the statistics of people succeeding is low. Statistically speaking, it doesn't make sense. So why would you do that? That's an emotional decision. That's not a rational decision. So why'd you go for that woman? Like it doesn't sound like she's not a good business partner. She's just hot and tits and ass, but she's a great looking person. So now you're like, okay, I want to make it's not a statistically great investment to go for her, but you deviate because of like some emotional attachment. But when you're in stand-up comedy enough, or when you're with this girl enough, then you're like, okay, I've been with this girl, I've been with stand-up for 6 years. If I deviate now, that's inconsistent with my current beliefs, and I don't want to come to that decision. So you don't deviate from her, and you stay for a long time. And that's why a lot of, like you said, a lot of comedians get bitter is because they just don't want to deviate. So something I've learned is like, yo, if you deviate, if you say, hey, I've already deviated from the college path, right? I didn't even give it a chance. If I've already deviated from like that path, from the education path, and I'm already finding myself in another path, then I want to be open to maybe deviating from the stand-up path. Because who knows what will happen. And because I trust myself and I trust the universe that whatever I deviate towards is the right step for me, because that's why I want to do it. I don't want to stop myself from doing the things that I want to do anymore, because I do that, bro. There's so many fucking things that I want to do that I don't do. That things that and these are things that I internally know who I am. Like, I know this is me, but I just don't allow myself to be that because I know that it would require me to deviate from who I've been up until now. And I don't want to come to that realization. I don't want to change myself from who other people know me to be now to be this product of something that I'm realizing that I am now.
Yeah, you know that. Well, that's you're under no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago.
Wow, I like that. I've never heard that, but
Well, because what you're saying is very true about people, and I notice this with a lot of people, especially with social media. They think they have people's perception of them like prevents them from changing because they're like, oh, people know me as the silly guy. People know me as this. Like, I can't change. Like, that's what before I stopped drinking, that was a big thing for me. Because like, oh, everyone loves drinking with me. Like, I'm the drinking guy. If I don't do that, who am I? You know, you don't have to be. You can be a completely different person, and
yeah,
tomorrow if you wanted to. You know.
Yes.
You don't have to like be bound by this. Like, oh, this is who I was yesterday. Oh, I did this yesterday, so I have to like.
It's that consistency thing. People just want to be consistent. Because imagine going to work one day and you're wearing a suit and tie, and the next day you're wearing an elephant outfit. It's like, yo, dude, you wore a suit and tie for 3 years. What's with this elephant outfit? And then you're like, I just want to be myself, Tom. And then it's like,
yeah, you guys obviously having a breakdown if this situation actually played out.
If that was where your life turned. But I like that a lot, bro. And I feel like both of us are pretty self-aware enough to succeed in that fashion. Yeah. You know? Like, I don't know what your long-term goals are. But like, I think it's all about character. And by the way, dude, I've like, again, this is very like an arrogant and like a selfish thing that I do, like that whole like fucking interviewing people, but like in my brain, like that, like just that kind of like, it's not really judging. It's just like understanding this person to see if we kind of fit. But like, that's the only reason why like I put time into people. And that's why I really like that you reached out to be on my podcast, because like you are a person who, before even having this conversation, I perceived as high value, regardless of like your job and not even knowing it's not like, cause it's not like it's not what it was like. Because a lot of people are like, okay, well, he works as a McDonald's cashier, but like he does this, or like I stopped looking at like your possessions, your your job, your career, I started looking at your point of view, your characteristics as a person, your perspective on life. And I can see that very quickly. And I know that you have like a high value mindset, even though like we're not fucking like living in a mansion with helicopters and stuff. It's like, yeah, but you could see where the trajectory is going just from meeting someone. Like at least a little bit. Like I think we both know a couple people at like if we go right now to the Comedy Boulevard open mic, we can look at a few people and be like, yeah, this person's gonna die in like comedy. Like this person is not gonna make it. This person might last a year and then probably die from a drinking problem. Like he's an alcoholic probably. This person does it just to feel good or like to deal with this fucking problem because they can't afford therapy and this is like how they're fucking dealing with shit. This person doesn't even like stand-up comedy. They just want to be famous, kind of like what you said. They're just trying to find every possible way to validate themselves because they know they're not important. They need this feeling of importance, and they get that through being on stage or through people watching them or hearing what they have to say. Like, you can really see those people, but then you see the people who are like, I have a talent, and I'm developing it, and I'm unfolding it, and I'm here to do that, and I'm here to work, and you can see that. And I know when I told you right now that there's people that we look at in that mic that is like going nowhere, we both know who I'm talking about. Like, it might not be a specific person, but I know there's some faces that came up in your brain that's like, okay, this person is fucking going nowhere in this industry. This person is just here to like pass the time. Like, but I'm not saying that like just in comedy. I'm saying that in every possible industry, in every possible thing of life. It's like there's always the people in your group or in your like path who are doing what you're doing, but for a totally like extrinsic, like just a totally superficial reason. And I hate those people. And that's why I meet people and I'm like, fuck this person. I'm not spending another minute with them. Or this person, I want to get to know better and learn more. And I want to understand more about them. And I want to learn about their point of view because they have something to give and something to share. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of their growth, and I want to grow through them, and I want to grow with them. And I saw that with you, and I hope you saw that with me. And I see that with a lot of people, but not a lot of people, honestly, which is why I live in this van.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. I think you're gonna make it. I think you whatever you want to do.
Who knows? I could die.
You could die. I mean, but like that's one of the reasons. This was a fun podcast to do, but I'm like I was just thinking about on the way over here. Like I have friends who don't do comedy who have like seen you do stuff. It's just like I know that you'd make it if you kept doing it. You know, like you have something like people like will come up to me like, I like that guy. They've and these are people who are just like they don't have to say that to me. They don't know you know. And I feel the same way, like especially like seeing like you know, because you've been getting like that's what I like to look for too in people is like if they've been doing this for a year, are they better than they were a year ago? And it's like I look at you and it's like insanely like it cracks me up to see how much better you are. You know, like so you know I'm happy to help you out in any way you need because I mean I'm confident that like you're gonna make it. You're a unique. There's not a lot of unique people out there. So if somebody does have that, maybe that's me tracing back on like the dream thing, seeing a unique person be unique. I mean that has value to it. I think, yeah, I think you're gonna make it. I wouldn't live in a van myself, but if it's making you happy, go for it. Like I said, you can't make any mistakes yet. So
you said you could help me in any way. Like, do you think you could give me a place to stay?
A place to stay, not my house.
Do you think I could like sleep on your bed?
You know the answer to that would be I wouldn't let my own mother sleep in my apartment.
I can't sleep on your couch or live in your house.
You maybe can come and fill up your water.
You said you could help me, bro. That's not help.
I'm not take care of you.
See how we lie. See, you're not gonna feed me.
How we lie. How old are you again?
You're not gonna buy me stuff. I'm 22, bro. You're not
no.
Gonna buy
When I say help people out, not like.
I don't want to
dude.
live in your fucking apartment, dude. Look at this beautiful. I wish they could see this, bro. You're like they're happy they can't see this. No,
I don't. That's one thing, dude. I have some people that like will ask me for money all the time and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I don't do that, man. I don't mean help you like that. That's not helping you, first of all. I know you're joking.
Honestly, bro, I'll end on this. This van has taught me about home in a way that doesn't make sense for people, which is this, and then this will be our goodbye. When you live when you don't have a home, like a place to go home after work or anything like that, where you're constantly you go into like a car and like that's you, home becomes earth, and strangers, people become family. And as weird as that sounds, and as much as that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, people have become so easy to talk to in life. Like the reason why I'm able to go to door and like talk to people is because I never feel like I'm leaving a home. I never feel like I'm leaving somewhere to meet these people. I feel like I'm just always with them, even when I'm not. So that's what what living in a van has taught me, ultimately, is that nobody here is not my family. Like all of these humans, like as long as they're humans, like we are here together and we work together. And like you said, we are here to help people. I saw a homeless guy yesterday, dude. Walks up to me 2 a.m. I'm filling up gas. Hey, do you want to buy this $5, like you want to buy this 42-pack giant box of chips for me? And I go and for $5. So it's such a good deal. I'm like, dude, I want to diet. And then I'm like, you know what, here. And then I just give him $7. And I'm like, keep it. And then he's like, oh, here. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I want to diet. But then I fucking took that shit and it's right there. But then I made it my duty that every fucking homeless person I see, I'm going to toss a bag of chip at him. I'm not going to eat a single bag of chips in that shit. But then again, now I've decreased the value of it because I'm telling it to
now
you.
It's a worthless act.
Because now it's a worthless act because I'm doing it for validation. And that's fine, whatever.
It's an act of terrorism.
Yeah. All right, bro. Thanks for being on the Truthers podcast. Any last words?
Truthers is what this
You
podcast
didn't-
is called?